So oddly, when I was in high school, I worked at the Art Gallery of Ontario, and I saw this film called Shadow of Our Forgotten Ancestors that's made by a very famous Ukrainian filmmaker. And the film left a really deep impression on me because it documented life in rural Ukraine in such a realistic way. And it reminded me of my own father's life. My father was born in this town called Grotte, which means caves. My mom was born in a town called Torre de Passere, which means Tower of the Swallows. And they met each other in these caves during the Second World War because that's where everyone would have to run when the bombs fell. And that's actually how they met and fell in love, was sitting together while the bombs were falling in these caves. And when I had the opportunity with the Public Poetry Gallery, it just came to me. My son had gotten a free subscription to Ancestry, and we were looking at all our relatives on my side and my wife's side, and all of these memories kept flooding back. And I realized that in each of us there is this hall of ancestors. And what I'm so excited about with the room was to be able to create that hall and to see the images of all these people that were scattered all around the world, to Venezuela, to Australia, to Canada, to the United States, who had lived, basically over these caves for thousands of years previous to that. And now the modern world had flung them everywhere. So, all of these people have now passed, and really the only place they live is in me and in their descendants. And to have them be able to be seen in this hall. And what I did was I wrote three short lines about their life to try to summarize their life. And in an odd way, only in poetry can you do that. And so, in this case, this is my dad that you're looking at. And, he had to, after the war, because he could not work the fields in Italy because there were mines in the fields. He'd actually lost fingers in his hands from those mines. He ended up going as an indentured farmhand to Smith Falls, where his uncle lived. And, the poem is just about, what his life was all about. And most of our lives are these lives that are not known to many people, except those that are in our family realm. And his was one of those lives. And in a way, these poems are just honoring all those lives of all those people. And it's so odd when we think about it, because, who would have ever thought that in their life that they would have, especially at that time, that they would have ended up thousands of miles away living in a different world. Like Smith Falls is thousands of miles away from Abruzzo in Italy. And when I think of one of the other people, Berardino, who left as a teenager and was alone in Australia. And I just think of my own trip to Australia, where I've never felt like I had gone so far in my life. And here was this person living all alone in Australia, trying to make his life. So the poems are, in a way, a tribute to these normal lives of people, and what they did with them and what they found as they were scattered. And, recently I was able to see the Dune movie. And, if you follow the Dune stories, there's a part of the story where the people that are scattered around the universe kind of come back. And in a way, these are the people that were scattered, coming back to one place.
Well, Luigi, what I really want to know is, are you in touch with any or all of these descendants?
So I do know most of the descendants of the people that are here. In fact, as we were preparing the room, and I had been finding through my parents' pictures, images of them. The ones that you're seeing now are all in New England. I had posted their pictures, and their relatives who I see on Facebook immediately contacted me, and we started talking again. It's yes, I do know most of the people, thanks to the beauty of the virtual sphere that Facebook is.
How do you think the descendants feel about having their stories so unexpectedly connected, not only through your poetry, but perhaps also seeing it displayed in virtual space?
You know, I actually don't know how people will react and how people will react to the way I summarized one of their descendants' life. But it comes from my memories of their particular story in the way I knew them. So it may not be the way that they knew them, but it's the way I remember them and my experience with them, because at different points in my life, I had the chance to be with them, even though they were so far away from me. There were moments when we came together, and through those moments, I understood their story and what it meant to me.
Well, you perhaps summarized it in few words, but I think the sum of everything here, connected virtually, visually, is fantastic, and it says a lot more than just a few lines of poetry.